The dust hasn't settled where you stood, just a quiet hum against the wood. The front door clicked, a period on the sentence. I'm still standing in the hallway looking at the floor. The house hasn't noticed your sudden absence, your jacket's shadow still hanging on the door. I play it back the violent way it shifted, a paragraph cut off before the end. I trace the syllables but all the meaning drifted, a broken signal I cannot comprehend. Untangling the knot you left behind, pulling at the frantic threads inside my mind. The wall clock loudly counting every beat, while I rewind the silence of defeat. It's a hollow kind of aching in the dark, a sudden blinding clarity that leaves a mark. You didn't say goodbye, you just withdrew and left me with a static ghost of you. I'm longing for a word you'll never say, watching the connection bleed away. The kitchen light is buzzing like a warning. I pour a glass of water, let it turn the room to grease. I try to map the wreckage of the morning, to find the exact second where you swallowed up the keys. But there's no logic for a cliff edge dropping, no dictionary for a blackened screen, just the heavy realization slowly stopping, the hopeless motor running in the in-between. The emptiness speaks louder than your voice did. These quiet walls are telling me the truth. I fought the sudden ending, I avoided the sharp edge of the blade, the bitter proof. But now I see the cut is perfect clean. It's a hollow kind of aching in the dark, a sudden blinding clarity that leaves a mark. You didn't say goodbye, you just withdrew and left me with a static ghost of you. I'm longing for a word you'll never say, watching the connection bleed away. The house is finally catching on, the air is heavy and I know you're gone, just a weeping note into the void. jagged cliff I fell from. A sentence left hanging like a broken wire. I'm pacing the perimeter of what we didn't say. The kitchen floor is colder than it was an hour ago. I'm pulling at the threads of your last good night, trying to find the knot where it all went hollow. The air in here is heavy, holding on to your ghost, waiting for a door to swing that's already locked. I'm untangling the static in the middle of the room, lost in the silence of a house that doesn't know you're gone. A midnight confessional to a ceiling full of shadows, between the unresolved ache and the sudden sharp light. I'm listening to the echo of the space you left behind. The coat rack is still reaching for your jacket. The dust hasn't settled where your boots used to land. It's a strange kind of mercy, this delayed realization that the house is still breathing in your name. While I'm wide awake, dissecting the pauses, every maybe and later turned into a ghost. The clarity is coming like a slow-moving freight train, beautiful and violent in the 4 a.m. blue. Is it possible to hear the exact moment of an ending? Is it a scream or just a hum that nobody notices? I thought we were a story, but we're just a fragment, a skip beat on a record that refuses to spin. The void isn't empty, it's just loud with the truth. I'm untangling the static in the middle of the room, lost in the silence of a house that doesn't know you're gone. A midnight confessional to a ceiling full of shadows, between the unresolved ache and the sudden sharp light. I'm listening to the echo of the space you left behind. The house is finally starting to feel the cold. The needle reaches the end of the groove. Just static now, just the void. A sudden period at the end of a thought. The floorboards haven't noticed you're gone. The hallway light is still blindly on. I'm sitting in the quiet you left behind, pulling at the threads of a tangled mind, tracing your shadow left in the dark, watching the embers fade from the spark. I rewind the tape in my aching head, trying to catch the things we never said. The silence is loud, the shadows are deep, and I'm too awake to negotiate sleep. You cut the cord before the knot untied, leaving me to hollow out inside. But through the static of this midnight room, a sudden clarity begins to bloom. I'm holding on to ghosts in the empty air, knowing in the morning you won't be there. Two glass cups on the kitchen sink, I watch the water settle. I watch and I think the curtains are still holding your breath. A quiet little room, grieving a death. I try to map the logic of the fight, tracing constellation lines across the night. Every word was a clumsy mistake. Now there's nothing left but the keeping awake. I unspool the syllables one by one, looking for the moment where the damage was done. But the puzzle piece is missing from the floor, and I don't wanna play this game anymore. You cut the cord before the night untied, leaving me to hollow out inside. But through the static of this midnight room, a sudden clarity begins to bloom. I'm holding on to ghosts in the empty air, knowing in the morning you won't be there. The house is finally learning you're gone. The static breeze, the night drags on. The screen goes black, the floorboards settle, the dial tone swallowed your very last word. A sudden period placed before I heard the end of the sentence, the click of the lock. I'm left alone with the hum of the clock. I'm pulling at the threads of a frayed goodbye. Under the glare of a low battery sky, the walls are still waiting to hear your feet, while I'm just replaying your sudden retreat. Your ghost is still moving around in the hall, untangling the wreck of a 2-minute call. I pace the wood in the pale moonlight, trying to pull out the wrong from the right. The dust hasn't settled where you used to stand, but the loose ends are slipping right out of my hand. The house doesn't know that you're gone just yet. The shadows are holding a silhouette. I'm wide awake in this hollow space, untangling the quiet erase in your face. Half of me bleeds for the way that it ends, but the other half suddenly understands. The hallway mirror still looks for your coat. I'm swallowing the questions caught in my throat. I used to make excuses for the warmth you'd hide, but the static is parting, the lens going wide. It wasn't a glitch the way you cut the line, it was the only sharp truth you left behind. No drawn out farewells, no softening the blow, just a heavy receiver and nowhere to go. The longing is bitter, but the vision is stark. I'm finally reading the room in the dark. I wanted to fix the sudden tear, I wanted to weave you back into here, but the ringing in my ears begins to fade to a hum. I'm mapping the shape of the damage done. The silence isn't waiting for your return, it's just the slow cooling ash of a bridge that burned. The house doesn't know that you're gone just yet. The shadows are holding a silhouette. I'm wide awake in this hollow space, untangling the quiet, erasing your face. Half of me bleeds for the way that it ends, but the other half suddenly understands. The house is learning to breathe on its own. I finally lower the glow of the phone. The static dissolves into nothing at all. The kettle whistles for two in the kitchen light, but I only reach for a single cup tonight. The silence in the hallway has a heavy sound, like every word we spoke is buried in the ground. I found your glasses on the nightstand by the bed, with the ribbon in the book where the stories are left unread. The dust is dancing in the places where you stood. I'd give the rest of forever to see you if I could. It's the little things that catch me off my guard. A ghost in the garden, a shadow in the yard. The world keeps spinning like it didn't feel the break, but every breath I'm drawing is a breath you didn't take. I'm looking for the echo of your name in every room, searching for a flicker of your light amidst the gloom. You're the song that's always playing, just a note behind the wind. The place where my goodbye stops and your memory begins. And I'll keep a seat beside me, even if it's only air, because I'm missing you and finding you everywhere. saw a stranger with your stride on 5th and Main. For a heartbeat I forgot the winter and the rain. I almost called out, let the words slip from my tongue, but the air stayed cold and the anthem stayed unsung. There's a hole in the collective, a gap in every day. The color of the neighborhood has shifted into gray, but I still buy the peppermint you like to keep in stock, watching seconds turn to hours on the ticking of the clock. Are you watching from the rafters? Are you resting in the blue? Is there a version of this life where I am standing there with you? They say that time's a healer, but I think it's just a thief that trades the sharpest stings of pain for a duller kind of grief. But I'd rather feel the hollow than forget the way you smiled. I'll carry you within me like a secret, like a child. I'm looking for the echo of your name in every room, searching for a flicker of your light amidst the gloom. You're the song that's always playing, just a note behind the wind, the place where my goodbye stops and your memory begins. And I'll keep a seat beside me, even if it's only air, because I'm missing you and finding you everywhere. I'll see you in the sunset, I'll see you in the rain, until the echo of your name is all that remains.